Stussy and Nike, a dynamic duo that has consistently shaped the landscape of sneakers and streetwear through their remarkable collaborative efforts. Their partnership, which was established as far back as 2000, boasts a rich history of crafting iconic designs together. While some of these creations have gained widespread recognition, there are also hidden gems that might have slipped under your radar. The genesis of this remarkable tale unfolds as Michael Koppelman, a driving force behind Stussy UK, initiates a fateful conversation with Nike's employee, Fraser Cook. Their vision? To craft an exclusive iteration of their beloved Nike sneaker, destined for the shelves of the Stussy UK store. The culmination of their collaboration materialized into the iconic Stussy x Nike Huarache LE, a masterpiece unveiled in two pristine color variations. While discreet in its Stussy branding, the desert oak and dark olive incarnations emerged into the world, laying the foundation for an enduring partnership that would flourish over the years. Both brands felt as if they got something cooking, so they teamed up again in 2001 on the Dunk High silhouette. Although the Huarache was their first collaboration, it was only limited to the Stussy UK store in London. This makes the Dunk Highs their first public release and also the first official collaboration between Nike and a clothing company. A carefully orchestrated debut awaited as these creations grace the shelves of selected Stussy chapter stores across iconic global hubs like New York, London, Los Angeles, and Tokyo. The launch unfolded over a measured fortnight, with a tantalizing daily release of 24 pairs per store, divided equally between the two colorways. Reports echoed the sight of eager lines forming each morning, painting a vivid picture of anticipation and enthusiasm that persisted until the well of stock finally ran dry. In the year 2002, the echoes of success reverberated as the dynamic collaboration between Stussy and Nike continued, this time on a Nike Blazer Mid. This legendary silhouette, much like its predecessor, had a special place within the realm of skateboard culture during that era. This collaboration also consisted of two colorways, the alluring dance of blue and pink and the subtle interplay of gray and green. Ho ho ho! Hold your horses! We plug a lot of people, but this is something that even we can't do. Hit that subscribe button and plug yourself with the most diverse and interesting sneaker content there is. And now, back to the video. What many people don't know is that in the same year, both brands worked on an extremely exclusive release on the Dunk Low silhouette. It's a Stussy limited edition. All pairs are numbered. They came with a hang tag and the famous double S logo and a stamp. Another cool feature is the Stussy tag on the heel of the shoe. It resembles the branding of the Vans. Only 126 units are made, 21 years ago, so they will be extremely hard to find. The swoosh and Stussy decided to use the Huarache Light silhouette as a canvas in the year 2003. This is a slimmed down version of the classic silhouette we all know. They released an orange and green version, and the game was on, because a very limited amount of shoes had the Stussy logo. This was the first time that Nike allowed another brand's logo on their products, another premiere. Let's fast forward, skip a few years, and land in 2005, when they managed to make one of the most coveted Dunk SBs ever made, the Dunk SB Low Cherry. Around this time, Sandy and his SB team have had a lot of collaborations already with different skaters and skate stores. Robbie Jeffers from Stussy was allowed to take the blessing and design this epic colorway, which is inspired by Neapolitan ice cream. Which flavor? Well, they must have tasted like cherries, as this was on the tongue of the shoe. They surfed the wave because in the same year, Stussy celebrated its 25th anniversary. They did numerous collaborations with brands such as G-Shock, Vans, Levi's, and of course, Nike. This time on the basketball silhouette, the Nike Court Force. 4 colorways were released dedicated to New York, London, Tokyo, and Los Angeles. In 2006, Stussy launched its World Tour project, they invited 40 artists to help collaborate on the iconic World Tour t-shirt. As you can guess already, they also executed a project with Nike by launching limited editions of the Dunk Highs, the Free Trail 5.0s, and of the Trainer Dunk Low. In total, they dedicated 9 colorways to this project, applying incredibly premium build materials. So we traveled all the way from 2000 to 2006. Imagine, we would have to wait until 2008 because it took them 2 years to come back, but with a banger. And this year, we witnessed a collaboration between Stussy, Nike, and the legendary Japanese streetwear brand Neighborhood. And again, the Blazer Mid was the victimized silhouette released in 3 colorways. Called the Boneyards, they were designed by the creative director of Stussy, Paul Middleman. Later in 2008, they released a sequel to the Boneyards collection, which was not a surprise as it was announced around the same time as the release of the Blazers. This time, Mr. Shinsuke Takizawa from Neighborhood was allowed to shine his lights over a Nike silhouette. They chose the Terminator High, which is now releasing more often around the time we make this video. These also released in 3 colorways, a black and blue, a black and white, and an all-black colorway. Never waste an opportunity to celebrate a party, and especially the Dirty 30 is one anniversary that never must be skipped. And that is what Stussy did in 2010 with a collaboration on the Nike All-Court Mid. They designed it with a slightly thicker swoosh than usual and also placed an animal print on the swoosh and heel tabs. They finished the branding with a translucent outsole with the Stussy logo on it. The shoes were released globally in white and black colorways for the public, but they also made a blue one reserved for friends and family only. The 2 brands shook hands again in 2011 on a rarely seen basketball silhouette called the Nike Skyforce Mid 88. We see the swoosh doing this more often in order to draw attention to some less familiar silhouettes. The collaboration consisted of 4 different colorways and were primarily crafted from hemp canvas. In addition to the camouflage on the side panels, they also applied a different version of the Skyforce logo on the tongue. In 2012, they released the S&S collection, consisting of some shirts, hats, and 3 different Nike ACG line silhouettes. The Dunk High OMS, the Lunar Brata Mid OMS, and the Mogan 2 OMS, where OMS stands for Off Mountain Series. Each shoe released in 3 different colorways and were created for optimal use on the street, sand, and snow. All shoes have the famous SS logo on the tongue and are true collector items. Just take a moment to let them sink in. 1 year later, in 2013, they moved on to the next silhouette, the Nike Trainer Indoor Low. They intended to make a multi-purpose shoe, mainly suited for skateboarding, but it could even be used for snowboarding. This lightweight shoe with the Velcro strap on the forefoot is released in 2 colorways, a black and green and a black and blue colorway, whereas the black was made out of 3M reflective material. In 2015, they shaked the scene with their Air Max 95 collaboration. We are now reaching the part of this video where you guys might recognize the pairs we're discussing. We can't deny how clean these 95s are. With the SS logo on the tongue on such an epic silhouette, they once again wrote history. Just take a moment to let them sink in. Nike and Stussy waited for 3 years after releasing the 95s, but they came back hard in 2018 when they joined forces with the Nike SB and released a Blazer Low and a Blazer Mid. They used the help of professional skaters Kevin Terrapin and Lance Mountain in the design and finishing of the shoe. The goal was to create sneakers that were extra sturdy and durable enough that they could withstand the high impacts caused by the sport of skateboarding. That's easy. The extra feature was that the shoes would retain their fresh looks. After a 2-year break, they decided to team up again in 2020. And if you paid attention, you must have noticed that this is the year of the 40th anniversary of the streetwear brand. In 2020, they released 4 different iterations, starting with the Nike Zoom Spirit and Cage 2 silhouette. a forgotten silhouette from the early 2000s. What a sleeper. Around this time, you saw a lot of people hating on these, and most of the time, that's a sign they secretly love it. The Cage Spirited released in a black, fossil, and pure platinum colorway and is loved by many. After the Spirited Cage 2, they teamed up again on another variant of the Spirited, the Nike Zoom Spirited Kukini Cage. This laceless Flyknit design is a hybrid between the Spirited and the Air Kukini and was available in the early 2000s for a short period of time. It's a fairly unfamiliar pair, at least it was. Alongside the Kukini Spirited, they released some slides in collaboration with Nike. It is not necessarily a sneaker, but it is footwear, so we decided to mention the Stussy x Nike Benassi slides as well. They released in 2020 in 5 colorways, and another variant on the Benassi slide released in 2021. But let's move back to sneakers. Because in the same year, the streetwear brand had the honor to work on the Air Force One low silhouette, and they did that with care. Again, it was released in a fossil and black colorway, just as with the Spirited Cage 2, but this time the shoe was carefully crafted from canvas and had a woven swoosh. The special Stussy box complemented the release. Another cool thing to mention is that it has been released in a full family size run. In 2021, both brands paid homage to their very first collaboration by working on the Nike Air Huarache model. There was no visible Stussy branding crafted on the shoe, just as how it all started. A lot of old sneakerheads were waiting for this one, and to be honest, it was a fairly easy pickup. Probably because the new generation is not aware of the history and therefore were not able to value this release properly. But hey, that's why we're making documentaries like this. The Huarache is released in 2 colorways, the Desert Oak and the Dark Olive. And there is almost no ending to this story. It will probably continue for years after this video. In 2022, they paid some attention to the Air Force Mid. A classic 3 colorway iteration was launched, whereas one of them, the Fossil colorway, resembles that of the Stussy Air Force One Low. In the same year, they worked together with Nike on another silhouette, which remains a bit low-key. I mean, we don't see a lot of sneakerheads bragging about their Air Max 2013. They'd rather complain about the Nike brand as they cannot bring it up to release new epic silhouettes like they did in the past. They were released in 3 colorways in 2022, a fossil colorway, a black colorway, and a pink one. So now, we are back at the present time, 2023, and yet there have been 2 Stussy releases already. The Air Penny 2 released in 4 colorways in the beginning of the year. It is a signature basketball shoe, and Stussy once again applied the hemp canvas style on one of the colorways. The other release is a classic silhouette called the Nike Vandal High. This silhouette made its debut in 1984 as a basketball shoe. Just for a fact, this is even before the Jordan 1. As usual with Stussy collaborations, the Vandals released in 3 different colorways and were received with open arms by many sneakerheads. This documentary will definitely lose its relevance in the upcoming years, as both brands are still walking hand in hand on the beach, listening to the waves and looking at the sea to infinity. Just like their partnership will probably last to infinity. And if you're able to push that like and subscribe button to infinity as well, everybody is happy again. Oh yeah, and by the way, don't forget to scratch your back. Thanks for watching.